It's been a couple of weeks of sideways action, so I just kind of wanted to go over the market really quick and see, where we stand. This is right here. This is the cluster right here that we're showing support from. Also, if you look at that purple line, that's also the, around the all-time highs, right? That's the candle closure and opening of both. So it looks like we're right above that 19,300 area, 19,400 area. We're in this cluster right now, and, we just need some more momentum, right? Building higher lows. Now, I'm not saying this is going to blow past the moon or anything like that, but it seems like we're going to have a retest, but not only of like 24 to 25,000, but possibly up here, maybe towards 28, 29. I don't know. It's possible. It's possible we can get that retest and still be bearish, right? Because it's really just a retest of what used to be support, right? Around this area. I mean, if you think about it, it's really this cluster. This is the cluster here. And the reason why I'm saying that is because it's we had resistance here. We broke through. Support, right? We broke down. Okay, we're consolidating. I mean, we could have a retest of that $30,000 mark. We could. I don't know. As of right now, the sentiment has been bearish for quite a while, right? Fear for quite a while. So why not, take full advantage of that? If, you were big money, we'll and it's a good way for people to kind of, for most of big institutions to kind of exit out of the position little by little. So we'll see how that's going to work out. But as of right now, we're still consolidating between two levels. Let's just kind of zoom in on the 3-day. I already have it copied, so I cheated a little bit. Oh, wait. All right. Oh. Okay. Oh, boy. Let me just drag this down. Okay. So that's the 3-day. All right. Keep in mind, there's no prices on the right side. I just kind of go by just levels, right? I kind of just it just helps me focus more on the actual patterns rather than the price. Then we have that retest here. See, this was a deviation. That right? Just a deviation from the highs. Okay, but I feel like this is the main resistance. One, we had a retest here, failed, broke above, held, broke through, and then we came for the retest. Okay, and it just seems like this is holding strong too, down here. Just depends how much they have, how much the bulls have in order to kind of push that upwards. So we'll see what happens now. Right. So we have this level. We have the lows. We have the highs. That started from June. So a couple months ago, we have this kind of wild, maybe here. A wild test of 23 to 25,000, just to kind of eliminate these short positions, and depending on how the momentum is, how bullish it is, there could be a spike into here, into the $28,000-$29,000 range. Okay, don't want to kind of jump over a lot, but I just want to focus more on the market in front of us, right? So in order to get there, we have to retest, we'd have to break through 22,004 and then, ultimately kind of get another retest, maybe taking out the highs there at 25,200. Okay. That's where it seems like the target would be. Again, if we fail to kind of break, towards that, let's just say we create a lower low around this level, it's possible we can go right back towards 19,000. It's possible, right? So let's this is a daily. Let's go on the 3-day really quick. And let's just kind of pull out the trend line, and let's see what we have from here. Okay, trend line, point to point, nice and neat. Okay, this looks like a retest area, retesting this trend line of 20,000, maybe a little over 20,000, enough to kind of wipe out these shorts, right, at 20,300. So let's kind of just zoom in a little bit more, see where that level stands. See, we have just kind of support here. 20,800. Right? So that would coincide. There's a confluence there with another area of possible resistance right here. Okay, so let's see how this market plays out. You know, until we break this trend line and kind of bounce, then we could see something, you know, some movements. But as of right now, as it stands, we're just here. We're just consolidating on this trend line. Let me just make this thick and black. There we go. So until we break this trend line, then I'll kind of revert to being bullish. But it seems like, you know, the two scenarios, right? Two bullish scenarios: breaking through, retesting, staying above this line, and kind of creating a higher low there. Or we could reject here and come back towards consolidation again, right? At which point we'd have to hold here. If we don't hold above this level, above 19,000, you know, it's possible we have some more downside. Not by much. I don't think by much. I mean, if I had to pick a number of where that would be, probably be here, 17,580. So, you know, I'm going to expect some kind of volatility either which way within the coming days, you know, possibly a week or two. It's October 4th. So that's what I have for Bitcoin. Let me just save this chart really quick. Let's go over to ETH. I haven't really touched ETH much. I mean, for me, it's been in terms of like trading, it's just been kind of boring to me for now. Hasn't really done anything for me. Right, we'll use the purple line, make this 2. Okay, so now we're just holding below it, which is kind of interesting. Right, that line in the sand is 1364. We're at 1349. Yeah, and this is on the weekly, but we do have, you know, we have a low, right? We have a higher low. So we need to see if we can kind of just have that upward momentum. We'll see where it goes at that point. But we're still under this line, right? This is 2017 all-time highs. That area of 1350. So we need to kind of stay above it. If we're able to stay above it, then we can just kind of resume. Again, this also has a trend line, right? It has a downtrend. So that's where we're at now. Could we get another retest of like 1,500, 1,600? Possibly. Right? That would coincide with this level here, 1560, 1570. You know, you could raise it up here to even 1680, but I think the safe bet is to be at this level, 1576. 1,500. So we'll see where that retest comes. It just seems like Ethereum's a little bit more ahead in terms of retesting certain trend lines. Actually behind, excuse me. It's behind, but this recently hit that because of the merge situation, right? It's that's the merge news or whatever. So we see that trend line here. This only got 2 taps. You know, you could always drag this down, but I feel like that's just cheating. You know, you could do that as well. I kind of like to do point to point. Just looks neater that way. And let's start off with, let's end it with XRP. So that was Ethereum. We're still in a downwards trend. I just would like to see a break of this trend line. You know, even if we get a break of this trend line, we could get a fake out too to the downside. You know, so let's see how this market kind of turns around. But yeah, so XRP kind of just leading the charge. It seems like this is on a weekly. This weekly candle is pretty impressive. If you do price range, let's just say from that accumulation of 31 cents towards the highs, it's a 75% bump. Not bad. So this is the weekly. Let's see the monthly. Monthly, I feel like we have better view of this thing. So maybe weekly. Yeah, weekly. I mean, you could use this. You could use this area right here. I think that's kind of weak. Well, yeah, actually, if you could stretch that across, you could see how that's holding up too. Although me personally, you know, I still kind of see, you know, a little downside here, but again, you know, biases can change temporarily. It looks like we're just consolidating now. We have on the weekly, pretty interesting. We have this trend line here. Okay, if we go point to point, let me just drag this down so it's nice and even. And it looks like we're breaking above it, right? We're breaking out of this trend line. Possible targets again, you know, we did hit the 55-cent area here. Maybe a nice little push up here. I personally would like to see a more aggressive move towards about 80 cents maybe. Maybe a little shorter than 80 cents. 71, 75 cents. You know? Just to kind of get a retest of that area. But it just seems like if we're able to stay above these levels, let's check out the monthly. Right? So the monthly looks nice too. Let's just kind of move that over here a little bit. Okay. So if we have the monthly, we can see that there's a possibility of us, I don't want to go too far back, but there's a possibility of kind of just retesting this range here, right? We have 58 to 66. So 58 cents to 60 cents. I know that's kind of a wide range. If you want to make it tight, you want to tighten this up, you could if you wanted to. And now we have 58 to 61 range, right? It doesn't change much. So keep that in mind as a retest zone, you know, 58, 65. And then if we're able to break that, we can continue a little bit more, you know, gain more bullish momentum. I mean, this is on the monthly, so it's kind of clean, right? So the bullish scenario is that we hold here, okay? We kind of come up into this resistance, come back down, and just resume. Okay, oh, that's a little too over optimistic. Sorry, that's too optimistic. Let me just kind of turn this magnet off, and let's flip to the weekly. So for me to kind of have some sort of short-term bullish momentum, we're breaking the trend line, right? Coming back down for retest, and then resuming up, creating a higher low, and then resuming. Okay, that's what I would like to see. Of course, the bearish scenario is if that was a total fake out, we'd stay under, and then we break below, you know, 31 to 32 cents. That would be the bearish scenario. But right now, it looks bullish for me. Temporarily for now. This is 2021. Let me just kind of see, even if, again, messing with the trend lines, we're still seeing a lot of similarities. Okay, so that's the weekly. Let's check out the 3-day. Okay, the 3-day. What is this? Let's zoom in more. Oops. Oh, my battery's low. All right, we're back. So the 3-day here, let's just kind of zoom in. All right, let's bring out the tools. Let's do the weekly first. Let's delete this. Weekly, our zone, you know, there's the support for me would be right here. 32.60. Right, so let me just drag that up. Clean it up a little bit. That's going to be the support, right? That's our, that support has been established since May of 2022. So a couple months ago, we could see that the the resistance at that point was around here. Okay. Until we broke from it. I mean, without looking at this, right? Without looking at this right side, if you're looking at it from a weekly point of view, you would see that, okay, this is our support, that's our resistance. So we kind of bounce, right? So the likely scenario, the bullish, would be to break above it, which we did. There's also another area here of interest, which I kind of like, I'm looking at too. It's about 39.38 cents. Let me tighten that up a little bit. Okay. So to me, it seems like we did get that push through. Okay. But we didn't necessarily get that retest down here. Whether it be 39.38 cents or whether it be, down to 36 cents. We didn't quite get that retest. And we probably won't. Right? And that's fine. We have to see what the market's in front of us, right? So to get a better picture, to get a better view on things, let's just kind of zoom in on the 12 hours. And here it just seems like we're consolidating too, right? We're kind of, that's the sort of like the resistance. That's the support here. We got deviation here, deviation, and now we're just in between. A lot of people were trying to possibly FOMOing in here because of that Binance news. And also with, Bitcoin with that tether situation where they state they're going to be more transparent and stuff, and, something like that. So right now we're just consolidating. So what does that mean? A break above here with, a solid break above 52. Whoops. 52 area with a solid break here. I think that's, and we hold, I think that would allow us to resume higher, right? We just have to stay above 56 at that point. So again, still consolidating, pretty bullish still. But just keep in mind, there are areas below which we haven't retested. Okay. And to me, though, that area, we have 41 to 39, right? And yeah, I mean, that's a pretty wide range. I'm going to kind of tighten that up. But really the retest for me would be kind of about here. 36, 37, right? Because we had a little resistance here. We broke from it, came down, broke again. Didn't really get that retest. We did retest this area. And even then we didn't get that retest, that proper retest, right? We broke through, we tapped it once, we didn't really tap it again. So we'll see where the market takes us within the next couple of days. We'll get our answer. But for me, we're still just range bound. If you think about it right here. So, bouncing off these levels, right? Either here or down here and break, it's still bullish for me. So we're just holding right now, just waiting to see which way the market goes. Right. I'll that bias would change for me if we break this trend line, which it seems like we did. Right. But we also need confirmation, right? We need continued green, another green candle too, and kind of staying above this range. I mean, for me, that test is like right up here. Raise the standard a little bit, right? So, yeah. Right back into the 51 cent levels again, possibly. And we'll see from there. But, yeah, that was a recap. I made this video a little longer than usual just to kind of refresh on what we spoke about in the past in terms of levels. And then now it's possible that we're going to get those pullback levels. But first, I think we're going to get a sharp push towards the downside to get a better entry. If we don't get that, then, we'll see a rise. But just keep in mind on a macro level, what's justifying this pump, right? Is it just news, or is it just money closing up their shorts? a lot of short coverings, maybe flip to longs just to kind of, until they offload their positions. I don't know. We can't, we don't know what the real answer to that is, but, just keep in mind that, this might not be sustainable long term, right? Because let's zoom out a little bit on the weekly here. So if we make a trend line from here, wick to wick, and we broke above this trend line, we could see that we could see that pump towards $1. Now I don't know what's going to take us there, but it's still going to be a bearish retest, right? We could still see, we have obstacles along the way, of course, 60, 80 cents. But let's just say we do hit that dollar mark. We're still within that macro zoomed out level consolidation period. So we could still see this, right? Well into 2024. So I don't know what's going to take us there. I'm just going by what the charts are telling me. I don't want to zoom out too much and say, okay, it's definitely going to hit it. I'm not here to say that, not to make a prediction or anything, but I'm just kind of seeing what's in front of me in terms of the charts, right? In terms of sentiment. There's so much bearishness and bearish sentiment that even this kind of thrust would just put a lot of people in disbelief and FOMO in. But all it's doing is just creating another lower high, a lower high, right? So we got the high, lower high, right? And then so on and so forth. Okay, so zooming out, the trend is your friend. The trend is still down. And that goes for Bitcoin too. I mean, Bitcoin's obviously, it's a little different. But we're still on that downtrend, no matter what. Right? And that push up in XRP could be an indicator for the market, the rest of the market, to kind of have that retest level too. Right? Between 27 and 30. So I'm not biased towards XRP in that sense, but it just seems like the return. I mean, the return looks just kind of a little bit more compelling, from a speculator's point of view. Oh, I don't know. Where is it? Okay, there it is, right? So if you, let's just say, for example, if you do something like this, it's just got 31 cents. Towards a, even worst case scenario right back here, that's still 172% gain. And then, if it does get that trend line retest, at, let's just say, best case scenario $1, that's a 220% return, right? So let's just keep that in mind. That's still a gain, even though it doesn't hit all-time highs or continue back up. It's still a win. So just be cautious, and moving forward, we're just going to keep an eye on this. I still think, even without kind of going too much into the levels too, let's just delete. We just never got this area retested. 37.39. I mean, just by looking at it, right? I'd like to see one of these. That's what I like to see. A little consolidation here. Also a retest of the trend line, or rather a proper retest of the trend line. And then, we'll see what kind of levels it brings us. But things are looking a little bullish for now. Very short term, not very very short term mindset. So, and let's see, that retest could be somewhere in April 2023, and then whatever news, quote unquote news, will get us to reject from $1 down towards a lower low possibly. But yeah, thank you for taking the time to watch the video. If any of this resonated with you, please comment, like, subscribe, and if you have any questions, please drop them in the comment section. But thank you again, and have yourselves a wonderful week.